Oh, good. I've definitely had moments where I've gotten confused. So we
Yeah,
left
no,
off with some guy talking to Chrome, being like, "Man, you are so awesome. If you have free time, could you act as a guard here as well?"
oh, that's
Um,
right.
and that was literally the last sentence. So our next thing right here will go to you, Destiny.
Okay. コラムはうなずいた。コラムはうなずいた。そうしたいと思っています。かか、かつかかっ
No, you're
か
right, Kaka.
かっか Okay. So basically he's saying like yeah, no, I absolutely could help with that. うなずいた
Totally.
is
That's to nod.
okay. So he nodded. I was like, yes, I'd be happy to help with that.
Yep. ガラス公爵はかすかに、笑みを浮かべた。よろしい。君ほどの、能力があるものは無駄に、できない。So, Garasu Duke, he has a slight smile on his face, and he says, "Very well. A person with as much skill and ability that you have should not be put to waste." Koshaka wa mada Alanna o mita. Then Koshaka looks at Alanna once again, and then to about here, it looks like, will be for you, Destiny.
Okay. 先輩の従者見習いの誰かが君の世話、えーっと、なんつうの先輩、
Yaku?
世話役
Yeah.
世話役、OK。世話役に3遍にしていれば、私、oh no, I skipped a line.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry.
That was kind of my
世話役
fault. I
に
moved the thing slightly, so it's slightly bigger.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. 世話役になる。Okay. So 先輩の So basically So someone, one of the older students, um, no, 誰かが君の is going to be like someone from the older students is going to be taking care of you or like watching out for you.
Exactly.
Um,
That's exactly
yeah.
what it says. Perfect. That is what it's going to be. That's what he says to Alanna. 宮殿の、中や仕事を、覚えるまでそのものが責任を持つ。Sorry. So within the palace, until you're able to do your job correctly, like until you're able to remember everything, that person is going to be responsible for you. 君が指示によく従え、勉強にしていれば、わしと会うことはあまりないだろう。As long as you behave, do as you're told, and you try your best to study, the two of us really shouldn't meet at all because you only see me if you're in trouble. And the next line will go to you.
Okay. Let's see. 規律
Yeah.
規律を
破れ。
破れ規律を破れ OK 規律を破れば私の、Gosh, I'm sorry.
That one's a hard one. I think it's te.
手しさ私の手しさを
What is it? I'll draw it real quick. So ugly looking. What is... Oh, kibishi. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. 私の厳しさ、なるほど。を、にをもってしてることになる。So basically, like, if you don't follow the rules or if you break the rules, then you're going to come to know my strict side.
Exactly. Perfect. 立派に働けば自由時間を与えられ、街に出ることができる。If you work really well, if you do good at your work, then you will receive free time and be able to go out into the city. 間違いを、起こさえなければ、いろいろな特権を得られるだろう。And he says, as long as you don't cause any kind of problems, you will be able to receive a bunch of different kind of merits. And then the next, right over here, we'll go to you.
ここには騎士道精神を学びに来たので、楽しむためではないぞ。So, you have come here to learn about chivalry? 精神. Like, to learn the spirit of chivalry, almost?
Yeah, that seems right.
So like because you have come here to learn the spirit of chivalry, 楽しむためではないぞ. Like it's essentially it's like saying you're not here to have fun.
That is what he's saying. Yep. You're not for the purpose of enjoying yourself. 大門、アラナは重木がずっと部屋に残っていたことにようやくが気づいた。二人を部屋にお連れしなさい。So, the Duke refers to something else saying Taimon, and then that's right there is when Alanna has finally realized the fact that there is a apprentice boy or something like that, a servant boy in the room that has been in the room the whole entire time. She just realized that. And to Simon, the Duke says, why don't you bring these guys to their room? And then the next two lines will go to you.
Okay. この子の、制服の世話を忘れるな。スマイソンさんには、衛兵隊の、制服を、so he's like, don't forget to explain, like, don't forget to take care of this child's uniform. Or these people's uniform, I guess, since he's also talking
No,
about
it's a child in that context. Simon's
okay.
is the next one. He has a different uniform.
Okay. Smyson-san は、兵隊の he's gonna for Koran basically, he's going to get also like a palace guard uniform.
Exactly. So basically this is just being added on to the previous sentence. Like, don't forget this kid's uniform, and then, oh yeah, also Simon's also getting a uniform. So it's just
Okay.
all the same kind of order. 公爵はアランナを押し量るようにじっと見た。So the Duke, he stares right at Alanna in a certain way. 押し量る? Like he's like he's basically like surveying her and making like a kind of like look on his face. He's very like searching when he's looking at her. Um,
うん。
いつ、uh, 5日後には夕食の席で給仕を始めるように。So he says, in 5 days, I'd like for you to start your work as like as a waiter, basically, for that'll be your job at dinner in about 5 days. Um, 私の給仕をすることも、質問は He says, you'll be acting as the waiter for me. Do you have any questions? And the next line here will go to you.
うん。Okay. Let's see here. So, こう答えるだけで、こう答えるだけで、い精いっぱいだった
Yep.
あありません。あ、公爵様。
All right.
公爵様。So, こう答えるだけで、精一杯。So it's saying basically she had a ton of questions.
Did she? It says 答える. What does that mean? Not
To
質問.
answer.
Answer. And then it doesn't have a ton. It says だけ.
うん。
The say いっぱい. You're right that いっぱい means full. You're right. But say does modify it a little bit because we're full of
Okay.
spirit, not full of answers. When you're full of spirit, it means you basically like filled something with spirit. It's like put your
Okay.
100% and soul into something is kind of what it means. To do one's
Okay.
best. You filled it with your soul. So
Okay.
she's describing something as having been full of her might and soul. And she does that with the こう答えるだけ. What does this part mean? That's like the most important.
It's referring to the sentence at the end of the page.
It does. こis the opposite of soul. Soul refers to the previous sentence. こ refers to the next sentence. So こう答える means ありません。公爵様と答える. Versus if it said
Okay.
そう答える, that would mean you'd have to start the sentence with ありません公爵. そう答える. So the こ is just the opposite of that soul that you've seen
Okay.
commonly.
Okay.
So literally it says she answered just with this, with all of her all I could do was answer just this with all of my spirit. Which was what?
Which is no, I don't have any questions, Lord Duke.
Perfect. Let's scoot this a little bit. Okay. 公爵に呼びかけるときは閣下というのだ. So when you wish to refer to a duke, you must call them your excellency. 年上の男は微笑み、右手をアラナに差し出した. And then this is the young boy who's supposed to be leading them to their rooms. He's a little bit older than Alanna, and he has a slight little smile on his face as he presents his hand to her, saying the previous line, which is, please refer to the Duke as His Excellency. 厳しい生活だが、時期になれる. And he says, while our life is quite strict, you'll get used to it soon. And the next paragraph will be for you.
Okay. アランナはおぞおぞとその手にキスをした。はい、閣下。アランナと二人の男は、お辞儀にして、公爵の部屋から退いた。So, thank you.
I felt like that'd be a word you wouldn't know.
Alana kind of hesitantly, cautiously kissed the proffered hand, basically, and says, "Yes, Your Excellency." Alana to and Alana with her two companions お辞儀をして、お辞儀。
To bow.
Okay. Bowed and then exited from the Duke's room.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe the Toshue no Otoko, the
Mm,
man who's a little bit older, might be
mm.
the Duke.
Mm.
Okay, that's just it. Since it doesn't make any sense for Alanna to kiss the princess's hand.
Yeah, I guess
I
not.
thought he was holding his hand out to her to hold her hand to bring her out, which also doesn't really make sense. But that was my picturing. You're leading someone out of the room. Follow me. Like
Right?
when you have a waiter. But no, it's a Duke holding his hand out, being like, "Hey, call me your excellency." Sorry, so confusing. There's so
No,
many men in this house. How am I supposed to know who we're talking about? Uh, 上州習いの棟は、宮殿の、西側に伸びていた。So the wing tower that the apprentice boys live in stretches out from the western side of the palace.
yeah.
街を見下ろす城壁のそばだ。It was right next to the wall of the castle that overlooks the city. And then the next line will go to you.
Okay. Let's see here. ダイモンはアランナとコラムに小さな二人部屋を示した。So Taimon basically showed Alanna and Koran to these tiny two little rooms.
Perfect. アラナが常習、見習いを務める間、二人はここで暮らすのだ。So while Alanna is working as a page, the two of them are going to be living over at this location. 部屋の中にはもう荷物が運ばされていた。Their luggage and stuff has already been brought into the room. And the next two lines here will go to you. Oops.
次は、宮殿の仕立て屋の元に行く。
Shitateya is the tailors.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. No,
Is it this word that you're confused about?
mhm.
So the first one right here is Jew. You should know the second kanji. What's that guy?
Jusa?
Yep, Jusha.
Okay.
And then you know this one.
Mi?
Yep.
Mifuku?
And then it's narai.
Minarai.
Jusha minarai,
That's right.
which is the page word, which literally
Okay.
means
Jusha minarai.
apprentice learning servant boy.
Okay. Thank you. 従者見習いの制服の、何
This is measurement, which I think is suibol. Could be wrong. Soonbol? What is this? Soon. It is soon, and it's whole. No, I was right. Soonpol.
Symbol? Symbol. Symbol. Okay. 寸法を測らなければならないとしてアラナは気分が悪くなった。So like next they went to visit the palace tailor. Uniform measurements cut. Because they had to take her measurements for the page's uniform, Alanna started to feel like kind of sick.
Yeah. Her good mood was now a bad mood. 服を脱がされ、まだ何もしてないうちに家に送り返されて、大恥をか 奥様が頭の中でぐるぐる回る。So there is a thought that is going around and round inside of her head. And this thought was that she is going to be stripped of her clothes and while not being able to do a single thing at all, be sent all the way back home and be absolutely embarrassed, but like sent home in embarrassment. That's what's been going around and around inside of her head. And the next line will go to you.
Okay. 実際には顔をしかめた老人が肩と腰の周りに、結び目。結び。
You know what Nusubu, the first part meant?
Oh, like to tie?
It is to tie. And then we're making a I out of tying. What is that?
Like a knot?
It is a knot.
Okay. 結び目のついた紐を巻きつけ、アランナの肩幅や羽回り違う。背回り
腰。
腰回り。腰回り。なるほど。を示す結び目の
Do you recognize that kanji?
I do. It has
You
been
know what it
just a
means?
moment though. That's not like kyo, like learn, right?
It's not learn, but it's similar to that because it's math. It's numbers.
Oh,
This is
Sue?
kazu. It is Sue when it's married, not married here.
Okay.
So it's kazu.
Kazu.
So
Okay.
sugaku. No kazu.
Okay. Kazu. Oh, is that
This is joshu, which is a person that helps. So it's a helper.
Oh, okay.
An assistant.
上司に伝えた。Okay. So, in actuality, so like this older man with a kind of closed off expression.
Yeah.
が腰の周りに結び目ついた紐。So he got a cord basically that had knots tied in it. And like wrapped it around her shoulders and her waist, and let's see what else. I don't know. And like called out her measurements, her shoulder measurements, and her shoulder and waist measurements to the from the knots, demonstrated by the knots. He counted the knots basically,
Yep.
and called them out to the apprentice who was standing by.
Perfect. But he probably had a piece of paper or something he was writing down. 続いて、右手と左足の長さを紐で測る。And then they continue to measure things. The next thing they measured was the length of her left leg and right arm. 心配そうな顔をした見習いを職校に走らせ せ、その間にコラムを同じように素早く測った。So there is a apprentice with a look on their face that looks like they're a little bit worried, and that apprentice goes over to run to the storage area. And then during that time, we also have Koramu being swiftly measured as well. And the next line will be for you.
ミナライは腕に服を抱えて戻ってきた。So the apprentice came back with like a pile of clothes in his arms.
Perfect. すぐに靴とブッツを取りに戻される。And then he also went back and came with some shoes and boots. 難しい老人は金色のチュニックをバザッと振って広げるとアランナに差し出した。And then the grumpy guy that was measuring everybody, he grabs a goldish colored tunic and shakes it out a little bit and spreads it out because it was folded before, so now it's unfolded, and holds it right in front of Alanna, like visually seeing, does this fit this girl? And the next line will go to you.
Okay. 色鮮やかな制服はもっと大きな若者ならぴったりだったろう。だったろう。So it seemed as though the brightly colored uniform would perfectly fit a much larger child, or a larger child.
Yep. You're at the motto much larger.
Yeah.
コラムは笑いをこらえるのに、苦労した。ちょっとばかり大きくないかい？ So Koramu, he is having trouble holding back laughter. Isn't this a little bit too big? Isn't this like totally a little bit just too big for this kid? 仕立て屋は重木を睨みつけた。So the tailor glares over at the servant Koramu and says the next line, which goes to you.
Okay. 男の子はすぐ大きくなる。老人は大声でいい。ブーツと服の山
Yep.
山をアラナのなるほど。腕に押し付けた。So it's basically like these boys get big, grow up really quickly. And this older man said this in a kind of loud, large voice, and then shoved the mountain of boots and clothing into Alanna's arms.
Perfect. And just so you know, it's Olgoy rather than Daigoy.
Like, okay, all boy.
Not that it really matters. I mean, we know what it means. Good thing to have in our head. Olgoy. But Dai is like so hard because it's like you can't get. そういうものだ。老人はしかめ面をアランナに向けた。So that is the way that it is. And this old man with his very grumpy looking face turns back toward Alanna. 服を抱えたら自分で作ろうこと。彼は言った。So he says, hey, if you break your clothes, you're going to have to fix it yourself. 少なくとも三月は頭を見せるな。At the very least, I don't want to see you for another 3 months. And the next paragraph will be for you.
アラナはコラムとタイモンが出ていく後を、
Is it this one?
うん。
That's O.
おった
Yep. It's a shape.
あ、Thank you. 安心のあまり、が、膝がガクガクする。Does
that kanji look familiar?
It does.
It shows up in a very common word, which is secret. You know what secret is? Himitsu. And that is actually that word right there. Himitsu.
Okay. 秘密はまだ暴かれていない。So, Alanna basically chased after Koramu and Taimon as they left. As in, like, despite her fears, Isa ga gaku
Gaku gaku.
gaku. So like gaku, like her knees were shaking.
It is doing that. And anshin no amari just means full of relief. So instead of in
Full of
spite
relief.
of her fears, it's that
Okay.
she's so relieved she's about to collapse.
Okay. 実はまだバレていない。So her secret had not yet been revealed.
タイモンはすごく大きな台所へ二人を連れていて、昼食を取らせると、午後は宮殿内を案内して回った。So Taimon, he brings them over, the two of them over to a super duper large kitchen that has them take lunch. And then in the evening, he goes over to show them around the inside of the palace. すぐにでも迷いそうだ. She feels like she's going to be totally lost, like immediately, saying like the castle is like a maze. And the next line will go to you.
ミツはすぐ覚えるよ。とタイモンは言うけれど、とても信じられない。So, although Simon told her that she would quickly get to learn the paths, she didn't believe him at all.
はいはい。王宮はトレボンドの何倍も大きいみたいだし、今まで見たことがない、ほどたくさんの人が住んでいる。The royal palace was several times bigger than the palace that the Torrebondo had, and she has never seen so many people living inside of one location. And this next line will go to you.
Okay. So, 宮殿にいろいろな
貴族
の狭いがあることも初めて知った。So, she knew, she was, 宮殿にいろいろな住まいが
So even though shita means new, you kind of need that hajimete right there. Hajimete shita.
So, this is like the first time that she was learning?
Yep, just learn this.
that many different noble families lived in the palace?
Yes.
Okay.
はいはい。外国からの賓客を止める空がもあれば、使用人の胸、神座の間に 議の間、仏塔の昼間に台所や詳細がいくつもある。So there's a whole lot of things in this castle. For example, there is a location that guests from other countries stay in. And there's also the wing, the tower area where servants stay in, and there is also spaces that the um the royalty can have like their discussions in, is what I believe that's saying. And there's also a ballroom and kitchen and studies in which there's not just one ballroom or just one kitchen. There's several of the ballrooms, kitchens, and studies in this castle. And the rest of this paragraph will go to you.
アラナは、アラナはなんだか自分がものすごくち、ちぼけなものに覚えてきた。そう、ものすごくち
It's like saying chisai, chisasa.
な、なものに、so like, アラナはなんだか so she was starting somehow to feel a little small.
Yeah. Right? Like when, because like she's a little fish in a big pond, rather than a big fish in a little pond. She's just kind of like, man, I am so tiny when I like this building is like 5,000 times bigger than even my castle. My goodness, I think more people live in this castle than they live in my whole entire territory. 日が沈む頃、二人は慌てて荷物を、ほどいた. So by the time the sun started to set, the two of them started to unpack their belongings in like a rush. コラムが自分の部屋に、清潔な服に着替えに行くと、アナナは新しい制服をゆっくりと広げた. So Koramu, he changes into a clean uniform that was in his room before he set out. Sorry, Koram went to go change his clothes into a clean uniform, while Alanna was spreading out looking at her brand new uniform. And Sonote wa furuete ita, and she was shaking as she's looking at her uniform. And the next two paragraphs will go to you.
アラン、重木の声がした。アラナは部屋のドアを開けた。コラムは準備を終えていた。So, Alan, this male voice called out.
Yep, and Juboku is servant, which is the job that Koramu has.
Okay. Alanna wa So Alanna opened the door to her room. Koramu wa junbi o, and Koramu had finished the preparations.
Yeah, and contextually, it means he changed his clothes because we were told that in a previous sentence. He went to his room to change into a clean uniform. So that's the connection between those. He finished doing whatever it is he wanted to be doing. それで、ジョーやボーやコラムは尋ねた。その目は優しかった。So then, boy, Konamu asked, so basically saying, like, what do you think is like what Sorede tends to be. It literally says, and with that, but he's meaning, like, what do you think? And his eyes are very kind. どうしようか、子供たちは夕食のために着替えを知ってるが? So, sorry, this is Koram still talking. What shall you do? The children, they have already changed their clothes and are going over to eat dinner. And then we have Alanna talking, which is this area. So that, paragraph will be for you.
アランナは微笑もうとした。先に言ってて、緊張していない声を出すのは、難しかった。大丈夫だから。So like Alanna tried to smile, or put on a smile maybe.
Yep.
Second, like go ahead and go on before me. She said she was trying to sort of say this in a calm voice. Didn't a voice that didn't like reveal her stress. And she's like, I'll be okay.
Perfect. 本当にもちろんアラナは、きっぱりといた。だからそう言ってるんじゃない? So he says, is that true? She says, of course. He says that, of course, very like, bam, no hesitation at all. Isn't that what I said? いや、違うね、と落ち着いた声が返ってきた. She says, nah, I think that's a little bit wrong. And that is the voice that comes in response to her that is very calm. And the next little sentence will go to you.
アラナはため息をついて、期待をさせた。So, Alanna like kind of sighed, took a breath, oh, so sweet, and like
You know
her
what body
forehead,
part?
like to
Yes.
wipe her forehead.
Yes, he rubs her forehead.
Okay.
コラムにこんなに見透かれてないといいのに. Man, it would be great if only Koramu wouldn't notice, could miss such a thing as this. He's basically saying he reads me too well. Darn. いつかは直面しなくちゃならないんだから、早い方がいいよ、コラム. So, I have to, Koramu, it would be best to, as soon as possible, to directly face the thing that you have to face. 大丈夫、本当にいて. He says, I'm fine, really, you can go. And the next slide will go to you.
コラムは少しダメだった。頑張れよ、アラン. So, like, Koramu hesitated for a moment, and then he's like, good luck, Alan.
ありがとう。アランナはコラムの後ろ姿を見つめ、不安な気持ちになった. So, thanks. Alanna, she stares over at Koram's back, and she starts to feel a little bit worried. 誰か急に入ってきたら困るからドアに鍵をかけて、アランナはシャツに手を伸ばした. In case someone could enter her room, right? So for that, and if that happened, she'd be quite troubled. So because of that, she locks her door before she goes over to put her hand onto her shirt to take it off, to stretch it off. And to here, I think it's probably 2 sentences for you.
着替え終わって、鏡の中の自分の、OK。自分の姿を見つめる。こんな綺麗な格好をしたことはない。So, finished changing. She looked at her form in the mirror, or the finished form in the mirror. こんな綺麗な顔. And she'd never worn anything this pretty.
Yeah. I would guess the kireis meaning clean,
Like all cleaned
referring
up.
to like the material it's made out of,
Mm,
rather than the literal prettiness. Because kirei is like a weird word in
mm,
that the meaning literally isn't pretty, but it's used for pretty. Because pretty things are clean and high quality.
mm.
長袖のシャツとタイツは鮮やかな赤。チューニックは金地だ。So the long sleeves of the shirt and the tights, they are a brilliant red color, while the tunic is a golden dirt color. Kinchi is gold, yeah. 足には丈夫な革靴を履いている。And she has these shoes on her that are made out of leather that are very sturdy. And the rest of this paragraph will go to you.
Okay. 細い革のベルトに探検とち物
Kobutsu, but that's a good guess.
鉱物入れをつるよ。つるす。入れをつるす。誰かに少し大きいけれど、you just wrote this.
Oh, that word? That's right here. Yep.
鮮やかな色に、目を奪われて気にならない。
Sorry, this is komono, not kobutsu. And komono ire is a accessory case.
Oh, okay. So like a thin leather belt に探検と and like a short dagger?
Yeah. But what does tsurusu mean? Let's look at our verb first.
Tsurusu. To like hang?
To hang. So what is hanging? The beruto or the tanken?
So the tanken is hanging off the beruto.
Exactly.
So she had like a short dagger hanging off of a thin leather belt.
And what else does she have hanging?
So yeah. Oh, like a little bag.
A little bag. Exactly. Probably has something like clean your swords in there, maybe a dagger. Who knows?
All right. So although
this is tashka, which does look like dare.
So it truly was a little big, but so like the bright colors. But the bright colors kind of detracted from the size almost, and so you couldn't notice.
Do you know what ubao means? Ubao? Do you know what that means?
Ubao. It's like to snatch or to steal, right?
It is to steal, so it steals your eyes. So it's making that your eyes are brought to the items, not the opposite.
Okay. So the bright colors kind of caught your eyes.
Yeah. Exactly. Perfect.
Okay.
And the difference between tashkani and dareka is that tashkani has a rock in it, and dare has iu.
Okay.
So they're both very similar because this area is all right, and they both got a square. So they both have a ka afterwards. They're very easy to make the mistake. It's mostly easier to be like dareka ni didn't make any sense in the sentence, so it has to be taseka ni. That's the real way to tell. But theoretically, the rock is what's certain versus saying is people. こんな鮮やかな赤と、さらにきらびやかな金の服のおかげで、少なくとも一つだけいいことがあった。Well, at the very least, there's one good thing about this super bright red clothing with the golden clothing right on top of it. There's like one good thing that I can say about that at the very least, which is the next sentence, which will go to you.
Okay. So, OK の制服に勇気づけられて、ドアを開けて、廊下に足に踏み出すことができたのだ。So, like, given courage by the uniform of the royal family. So like she opened the door and is like to step out into the hallway.
Yep. She was dekita.
Able to?
Yep.
Given that courage.
Yep. Given from the courage, she was able to open the door and step out into the hallway. 古いヨレヨレの服のままではできなかっただろう? If she was wearing the old clothes that she was wearing before, she doesn't that were a little bit thread bound and stuff. She doesn't think she'd be able to go out like she could have like she does now. 子供たちが数人アラナを目にし、すぐ噂は広まった。The children, there's several of them, they see Alanna and they start to make like little rumors. They start gossiping about her. And the rest of this will go to you.
新人が宮殿に来たぞ。不意に自由者見習いの胸が静まり返った。みんなこぞって新人を見てくる。It's like, oh look, there's a new kid at the palace, basically. There's a new person at the palace. So like she kind of started getting swarmed almost by the pages. No, what? That's not quite right.
No, Suzumari kaita means like it became quiet. So first they were like, "Oh my gosh, there's a new person," and then shh. And the thing that became quiet is that it suddenly became quiet, and it was the whole location that they're in, which is where all the apprentices are. So the apprentice wing of the building
like
suddenly returns to quiet, and then they do the next thing.
Oh, okay. So then みんながこぞって So like everyone kind of at the same time it came to check out the new kid.
Exactly. They did. Perfect. And since that right there is perfect, we're ending at the end of a page. I'm going to have us stop here, which is about when we started too, which is fun. So.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry again for that.
Oh, good. Any questions before we go?
No, I don't think so.